Good evening. Welcome to Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 21st of August. Relief and rescue efforts continue in India's flood-hit Kerala province. Washington concerned terrorist enjoying safe haven in Pakistan, says top US diplomat. And all terrorists killed in attack in Afghan capital Kabul. Now for all the details. Rescue and relief efforts continued on Tuesday as India's Kerala province reels under the impact of devastating floods. Death toll rose to nearly 400 on Monday in the worst floods in a century in the southern province.
Rescue and relief operations continue to provide assistance on Tuesday as India's southern Kerala province reels under the impact of devastating floods. The death toll rose to nearly 400 on Monday in the worst floods in a century in Kerala. Authorities said that around 1 million people are residing in relief camps and dozens are still missing. Those able to return home face a big cleanup.
Everybody has come forward to really contribute their big things, big might to the relief operations. So things are looking better now. The big problem is we have 1 million people in the relief camps. How do we send them back to their homes? A lot of houses have collapsed, and of course no house has got electricity wherever the houses have gone underwater. There is no sanitation, and all the houses are filled with very thick layer of mud.
India's federal government has so far announced an $81 million aid for Kerala to help the province get back on its feet. Famous for its coastline and picturesque backwaters, Kerala is a major destination for domestic and international tourists. The province last saw such devastating floods in 1924.
In news from Pakistan, Federal Cabinet of Pakistan has decided to put former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his daughter Maryam Nawaz on exit control list, which prohibits them from leaving the country. The decision was taken at newly elected Prime Minister Imran Khan's first cabinet meeting on Monday.
Pakistan's federal cabinet decided to put jailed former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and his daughter Maryam Nawaz on exit control list, prohibiting them from leaving the country, stated Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry. The decision came after the new federal cabinet's first meeting on Monday, which was chaired by Prime Minister Imran Khan. Red warrants against Sharif's son Hassan and Hussein and former Finance Minister Ishaq Dar were also directed by the cabinet in order to bring them back to Pakistan from London. Sharif and his daughter Maryam were arrested on July 13 this year, minutes after they returned from Britain. An anti-corruption court sentenced him on July 6 to 10 years, while his daughter and political heir was sentenced to 7 years over the purchase of luxury flats in London in the 1990s. They are currently at Adiala jail in Rawalpindi, along with Maryam's husband, Captain Safdar, who was sentenced to a year in prison.
Top US diplomat Alice Wells on Monday said that Washington has expressed concern over terrorist groups which are continuing to enjoy safe haven in Pakistan. She said Pakistan obviously has a critical role to play in the stabilization of Afghanistan.
A top U.S. official in the Trump administration, Alice Wells, on Monday said that Washington has expressed concern over terrorist groups continuing to enjoy safe haven in Pakistan. Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary Alice Wells said U.S. has encouraged Pakistan to take stronger steps to ensure that the Taliban either comes to the negotiating table or is expelled back into Afghanistan rather than enjoy safe haven outside of the country.
Pakistan has an important role to play in furthering stability in Afghanistan. We have expressed our concern over the fact that terrorist proxy groups continue to be able to enjoy safe haven in Pakistan. We are urging the government to do more to bring pressure to bear against these organizations, externally oriented terrorist groups.
Relations between Washington and Islamabad have frayed since US President Donald Trump in January this year accused Pakistan of supporting Taliban militants wreaking havoc in neighboring Afghanistan. In a strict move, US announced suspension of nearly $2 billion of aid to Pakistan for failure in tackling militancy in the region. In response, Islamabad said it has sacrificed a lot in the fight against terrorism and was being used as a scapegoat by the US for its failures in Afghanistan.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghan Interior Ministry spokesperson Najib Danish said all the terrorists who were involved in several explosions in capital Kabul on Tuesday had been killed. The attack in Kabul ended after hours-long battle between security forces and the terrorists.
All the terrorists involved in several explosions in the Afghan capital Kabul on Tuesday had been killed, said a spokesperson for the Interior Ministry. The mortar blast wounded 2 police officers, according to the spokesperson, and came 2 days after Afghan President Ashraf Ghani declared a conditional ceasefire with the Taliban. But the terror group, according to 2 senior commanders, have rejected the offer and vowed to continue its attacks against the government.
سطحی مجروح شده، 2 نظامی است، منصوبین پلیس است، دیگه به کسی آسیب نرسیده. عملیات تصفیه‌ای در محل آغاز شده بود، لحظات پیش پایان یافت و ترورها از بین برده شدند.
The blasts were heard on camera as President Ashraf Ghani was speaking at an Eid prayer ceremony at the Presidential Palace Mosque on Tuesday. Ghani, during the ceasefire announcement on Sunday, had said the ceasefire would only be implemented if the Taliban respects it.
Moving on to news from Nepal, Nepal's parliament on Monday endorsed a tabled proposal of the BIMSTEC convention focusing on security with a majority. The proposal was tabled in the parliament by Interior Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa, who asserted on the importance of the proposal to combat terrorism, which according to him requires cooperative effort.
Nepal's parliament on Monday endorsed a tabled proposal of Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral, Technical and Economic Cooperation or BIMSTEC Convention, focusing on key security issues like combating terrorism and controlling organized crimes. The proposal was tabled in the lower house of the parliament by Nepal's Interior Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa. Thapa, on the importance of the proposal to combat terrorism, which is gaining a foothold across the world, said a cooperative effort is required for tackling it.
यो सहकार्यलाई विस्तार गरेर यो अन्तर्राष्ट्रिय आतंकवाद र अन्तर्देशीय संगठित अपराध र यो अवैध लागू औषधको कारोबार सम्म विस्तार गर्ने उद्देश्यले यो महासन्धि यो अभिसन्धि अगाडि आएको छ.
Though the convention had been approved by all the BIMSTEC member countries, Nepal was the only country that did not give its nod earlier. Being the host nation of the 4th BIMSTEC summit, there remained a compulsion for endorsing the document ahead of the summit, which is slated to take place on August 30 to 31st.
In news from Sri Lanka, an international kite festival was recently organized in Sri Lanka's capital, Colombo. The event, which was held for the second time in the country, witnessed participation from all over Asia.
Thousands flocked to the historic Golf Face Green Park in Sri Lanka's capital, Colombo, for an international kite festival held recently. According to the organizers, around 3,000 kite-flying enthusiasts from all over Asia launched their kites of all shapes and sizes into the air at the event. Visitors hope more of such events will be held across the country in the near future.
This is my first step to Sri Lanka. To me, Sri Lanka is very nice. The people very good and very polite. And then competition today is very good, well organized. And then so it is a bit crowd only because it is a program with so many kites. After all, it is very good.
इताम विशिष्ट ममा कियन मन दिन योजना करना में लंका व पुराम में सने के लिए बहुत तन पुलुअन नंग इताम विशिष्ट.
The festival was the second Derana International Kite Festival held in the Lankan capital. Organizers of the event now aim to make the kite festival an annual affair.
An adventure water sport was held in Ladakh region of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir on Sunday for the first time. The competition aimed at promoting adventure sports in the province.
The first ever water sport, world highest rafting and kayaking competition was held in Ladakh region of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Sunday. Held on Janskar River, the competition witnessed participation from as many as 22 teams from various parts of the country. The participant teams comprised of the Indian Army, Indo-Tibetan Border Police or ITBP, Air Force and 62 kayakers from different parts of the country.
ये बहुत कठिन कार्य था इसको ऑर्गेनाइज करने के लिए। इसमें इन्होंने बहुत दूर-दूर से टीमें बुलाई हैं और पहली बार कंपटीशन होने के कारण काफ़ी टीमों ने इसमें भाग लिया है। इसमें करीबन 22 टीमों ने इसमें भाग लिया है, जो कि बहुत सराहनीय है।
I'm so happy to be here to participate in the rafting competition. It was an amazing experience for me because this is my first rafting competition and I'm very thankful for the team to take an old person like me.
The event was organized to promote adventure sports in Ladakh by the region's rafting operator associations. India's northern Jammu and Kashmir is a famous tourist attraction due to its scenic beauty, and events like these are expected to help boost the tourism sector further.
A 10-day exhibition to promote tribal handicraft and handloom products of Northeast region was recently organized in India's Nagaland province. Around 35 artisans from different northeastern provinces of India displayed their handmade products at the event, which celebrated the tribal culture, craft and cuisines of their region.
A 10-day exhibition called Adi Mahotsav to promote tribal handicrafts and handloom products of India's northeastern regions was recently organized in Dimapur city. 35 artisans from northeastern provinces including Assam, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland displayed different varieties of handicrafts and handloom products. The event was organized by the Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India or TRIFED under the Union Ministry of Tribal Affairs.
Objective of organizing this Adi Mahotsav is to bring the tribal artisans under a roof to promote their products and display and sale. In fact, they do not know what is the price of their product outside the northeast region. They are not getting proper market. So main objective is to give them marketing platform.
People in India's northeast regions, mainly the tribal, make things of daily use on their own. They use indigenous and natural recyclable products to manufacture items which are also durable in nature as they are abundant in the environment they live in. Authorities now aim to organize more exhibitions in the region which will put the handmade items on sale and boost the earnings of the local artisans.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Relief and rescue efforts continue in India's flood-hit Kerala province. Washington concerned a terrorist enjoying safe haven in Pakistan, says a top US diplomat. An all terrorist killed in attack in Afghan capital Kabul. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsia Newsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.